You're listening to the Success Assembly Podcast, episode number 1.
Welcome to the Success Assembly Podcast, where each week we speak to inspiring, passionate, and motivating people from across the globe to help you take your life and business to new levels. And now for your host, Clint Salter.
Hey there, it's Clint Salter from clintsalter.com and the host of the Success Assembly Podcast. And thanks for joining us. Today, I'm excited to be speaking with a young lady who has been instrumental in not only the growth of my business, but my growth as an individual. And today, she's sharing with us tips on how you can have success in both your business and life, which I know seems out of touch for so many of you listening. So today, please welcome my guest, Christina Guidotti.
Hello, Clint Salter. Hi, everybody.
Christina is one of Australia's leading experts on belief, conviction, and commitment in the areas of sales, leadership, productivity, achievement, and fulfillment. As an authentic, powerful, and inspiring speaker, author of 2 books, mentor, and trusted professional advisor, she partners with individuals, businesses, and organizations to create life-changing and sustainable outcomes. Wow, you've done a lot, Christina.
Sounds good. Who is this woman? Oh, it's me.
I want to meet her.
You make me look real good. Thanks, Clint.
I'd love to start the show, Christina, by talking about your incredible book, How to Have It All, which came out last year. Can you give our listeners an overview of the book and, more importantly, what drove you to write it?
Sure, thanks, Clint. Yeah, How to Have It All, a pretty audacious title, right? Like, who would write a book called How to Have It All, I wonder. But I think it all started because, like many of us, I've always been trying to climb that ladder of success, right? You know, we're always trying to learn more, do more, get better at what we do, earn some more money, get some better results, you know, climbing that ladder of success. And there's so much out there to help us doing that. But what I found that a lot of us, including myself, climb that ladder of success and go for the achievement side. And sometimes we nail that. We have years that we do, some that we don't so much. But, you know, we can learn how to have the achievement side. But what drove me to write How to Have It All, Clint, was this desire to try to have both the achievement and the fulfillment. I had a personal tipping point in my life a couple of years ago, and I won't go into the long story, but basically I realized that, you know, I was climbing up the ladder of success, ticking a lot of boxes, achieving a lot of goals. However, there was a few pieces that weren't ticked, and it was affecting my fulfillment. You know, sometimes we see a lot of people that have a high achievement, but the fulfillment is missing. So what I'm all about and what How to Have It All is about is how to have both the achievement and the fulfillment side.
Yeah, excellent. And I think those things, and as you've pointed out, you know, you went through a tipping point in your life. And I think with most people, there is a catalyst. You know, there's a point where they either break down, or there might be a breakdown of a relationship or a career, and they go, you know, what is this all about? Absolutely.
Look, for me, I've been in a relationship with my wonderful husband for 28 years. I've got 2 kids. I know a lot of your listeners are juggling all the same similar things that I'm juggling. So that's, you know, a common thing to have to juggle so much. And, you know, for me, it's all about getting things done that really matter. And that's what I love to help people with, is how do you work out with so much that is there that we have to do and get done? How do we work out the things that really matter? And the tipping point for me was to, you know, as I said, I had amazing fulfillment in many areas, but there was just a couple of pieces missing. And you know what? You and I know that just one little piece of the puzzle that's missing can really undo a lot of the other good stuff. So it's about making sure How to Have It All is about how to have it all in the areas of your health, your best wealth, and your best relationships. And they're the 3 major areas that I concentrate on.
Yeah, excellent. Now, we've touched on this, but as we've said, you know, business owners are continually under the pump. You know, they're running households with children, controlling the day-to-day of their business, managing staff, bringing in new deals, and keeping up with relationships outside of work. As you said, yes. You know, you have a family. You've been running a business for many years. What are your keys to personal effectiveness and fulfillment that help you, you know, have it all?
Absolutely. I reckon if I was to summarise my last 20 years in business and as a business owner juggling it all, I've come up with 3 key ideas. I'm going to leave my 5 success steps to share at the end, but if I was just to summarise 3 sort of big ideas for your listeners, and number 1 would be looking after yourself. Don't we often put ourselves second or third or even last? As small business owners, there's so much to do, and we're looking after often everybody else but ourselves. So that would be number 1, is actually really carving out some time to look after yourself. Number 2 is mixing with the right people, listening to wonderful podcasts like this one and listening to you, Clint Salter, and learning, but just having great people in your life and really working hard to limiting your exposure to the wrong people. And number 3 would most certainly be taking personal responsibility, which is, a little bit of discipline needs to come into play, and really, getting those things done that matter, but making sure that you understand that, it's up to you. So that'd be my 3 big ideas.
Excellent. I love that. The first one you talk about, looking after yourself. So, that's your health, making sure you're getting enough sleep. I mean, what's your ritual? Can you kind of walk us through that? What keeps Christina Guidotti firing on all cylinders, 7 days a week?
Oh, well, sometimes I'm not, and I have to then, the default is Christina. You got to look after yourself. So that is a little bit of the warning sign when I'm starting to not feel like it's all going well. I think, okay, what's going on with you? And I encourage everybody else to go, you need a little bit of time looking after yourself. For me, it's the mornings. I find that if we decide that, we're going to leave it till the end of the day, many things can get in our way, including tiredness, and hopefully there's some good deals that are happening, and we've got some great people that we want to spend the evenings with, including family and friends. So I reckon, in most cases I've found successful people are getting more done, looking after themselves by getting up early in the morning. And yes, in most cases it does have a 5 in front of it. It sounds a bit...
And it's not like a 7:35 either.
Sometimes I tend not to mention that normally at the very beginning of my mentoring relationships because I can scare some people. But look, for me, it's been a morning routine, even with young children, that starts early. Hey, the kids are up early anyway, so why not get up with the kids? And it's a combination of your body, your mind, and your soul. So yes, it's a combination of exercise, doing something great for your mind. It could be listening to a podcast like this. It could be reading a great book. It could be, even spending a little bit of time with the right people, maybe a phone call. So something that's going to inspire you and stimulate your mind, something that's going to bring some nice growth, great growth mindset for the morning. And then also the soul, which could be listening to some lovely music, listening to a meditation, a guided meditation. Could simply be just sitting quietly amongst nature, go out to the backyard and, go cross-legged, go in a yogi position in the yard, or maybe not, or do something that's sort of a little bit relaxing. And, when we build that up, it can become this amazing 3-hour routine. And yes, I teach this with people that have young children. You can do it with the children. It absolutely does work. But what happens when you show up to work, you're ready to get to work, to get to work on your life, and you're different. You'll definitely show up differently if you look after yourself. I think that, for me, is the number 1 tip for success for small business owners to look after themselves. And it might just start off just getting up a little bit earlier in the morning, and then eventually you'll get addicted, I promise you.
Yeah, I think it's a step, it's a step by step. It might be if you're getting up at 7 o'clock now, get up at 6:30.
Yes.
And then work back from there. It's amazing what those early morning hours can do, I think, for your business and also your life.
Absolutely. No, and then once you've got to work, you actually do the way that you speak is different, your energy levels are different, and you become almost a little bit infectious in a good way, and people you'll find they'll start coming up to you saying, what are you doing? What are you up to? And you'll just be more attractive to others. And I think that's really important in business, isn't it?
Exactly, 100%. Now, in Chapter 2 of your book, you talk about removing the stage makeup. Now, I know as a business owner, I wish I learnt this lesson a little bit earlier. Can you talk us through this concept?
Oh, sure. Have you ever met those that look like they have it all, but when you get to the back stuff, you kind of realise that they haven't? That might look like they've their marriage rocks, or their kids are perfectly balanced, or they've got heaps of money, or maybe
exactly. Well, we just need to turn to Facebook and look at what I like to call the highlights reel of everyone's life.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon I look much better than my real life on Facebook. But who wants to put a bad photo on Facebook? But exactly. And it's about sometimes I do look at the World Health Organization statistics, Clint, and sadly by 2020, because of all the stress and strains of us, by 2020, depression and primarily, anxiety, mental illness is going to be the biggest cause of disability and disease. I mean, that's phenomenal. Like when you think of cancer and diabetes and obesity and all of those diseases, you realise that mental illness is the first step to making sure that we avoid all of these diseases. And the reason why I say that is because the first step is really finding out your truth and taking off the stage makeup and, really to asking a few questions about what's going on. I love doing that with my clients. I love getting deep and personal. And as I know you do too, Clint, it's about trust between you, the mentor and the client, and building that relationship that says, hey, how are you? What's going on with you? Because until we do that, I don't believe we can really start to get real change until we find out what's going on. So, yeah, a little bit of taking the stage makeup off, and you'll only do that with key people. You'll only want to do that with key people, because until you do, you're going to be numbing a lot of pain, and whether it be alcohol, drugs, whether it be working long hours, sleeping in, not getting up and doing the morning routine, and I guess life isn't easy all the time, but it is about the first step is taking off that stage makeup and finding, what's really going on for you.
Yeah, exactly. And you touched on a really important point there, and I think it's about surrounding yourselves. I like to call it my wisdom circle, putting people into your circle like a mentor, like a really close friend that can support you and that you can be really truthful with. You can take off that stage makeup and you can tell them actually really what's going on, so that you can hopefully quickly move through it and on to the next great thing in your life.
Absolutely. No, key people, I call them my true believer tribe, and they're the people that, really, really care about your success, and they'll be honest with you, they'll care, they'll guide you, and I think, yeah, absolutely, having a few important people is certainly had a one step towards having it all.
Yeah, excellent. Now, as business owners, many things happen in our business that is out of our control. So what are your tips on acceptance and staying out of drama?
Absolutely. Well, look, acceptance is realising that you've got strengths and weaknesses. And I love the whole idea of amplifying our strengths and not getting too hung up on our weaknesses. And there's certainly, when I talk about productivity and how to have it all, one of the big areas is being able to delegate the things that you either don't like doing so much or you're not so good at. So it's really acceptance of, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. We do look at doing a SWOT analysis. We do strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats analysis on our businesses all the time. But, hey, we should be doing it on ourselves as the first point, is to see what are our personal strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats, around our life. And staying out of drama is one of the key productivity tools that I teach. And I reckon that you can increase your productivity by between 30 and 50% every day just by staying out of drama. Sometimes it's really easy to live in the past. Hey, we've all got a backstory. We've all got stuff that's gone on, and there's been some tough times for sure for all of us. But acceptance is saying, okay, what's really going on. There's certain things I can't change that I've got to move on from. And it's about staying out of drama means not really being victim to the past and not persecuting others around you. That's another part of staying out of drama. Sometimes it's easy to look sideways and blame them or say,
point the finger.
You point the finger, I'm pointing, yep. And so staying out of drama is sort of not being victim, not being persecutor, and also not rescuing is another point is, it's easy to go and put out fires all around, but sometimes by you and I not rescuing and allowing other people to learn the life lessons, we can free up our own time and energy, because I am talking about time and energy. That's two of our biggest resources that we if there was gifts that I could give, it would be time and energy. Hey,
exactly.
That's what we're all after, aren't we?
We certainly are. Great tips there. Now, I've worked with many business owners around gaining clarity on their values for themselves and their business, and I absolutely love your concept of having value-based directions. Can you please talk us through this process and how business owners can apply it to their life and business?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of you would be familiar with goals, and there's about 3% of the population that will write clear written goals. Not a huge part. I think more of us should be writing down what we want. I like to take it to a different idea, which is instead of just writing goals, because goals, have you ever written down a goal and you fail on a goal, and sometimes you feel really miserable. As business owners at the beginning of the year, we have all these ideas about what we're going to achieve. You know what I mean? And then
it's like New Year's resolutions, business and life. We're going to hit all of these amazing targets.
I know, and then by February you're going, hello, what happened? And then it sort of goes downhill from there. So, I like to think of life as a 2 steps forward, 1 step back dance. And I call it like, it's about seeing life as moving forward, which is progress, and then sometimes we're going to step back. So I love to, instead of thinking about goals, I love to think about a direction that we go in, and I find that with my clients, it allows them to sustain momentum and to get where they're going faster than concentrating on just ticking off a goal list. It's slightly different, takes a little bit of work to create, but essentially it's about deciding what you really value in life and then to create a slightly different list to the goal list. And that list is really based around your values. And in How to Have It All, you'll see the 10 different categories that I talk about, including health and including relationships and including all areas around your health. So I reckon this is the answer. You could call me the anti-goal girl. I'm really into helping people write value-based directions because it's less painful, because you don't beat up on yourself when you have a little step back.
Yeah, and you carry them around with you like in your diary, don't you?
I do, absolutely. I carry it around with what I call my SWEP, which is my secret weapon for excellence and productivity, and all of my amazing clients set one of these up on our first appointment, and having those, what's the point of writing down what you want if you go to the trouble of it and not looking at it? Super successful people are always very, very clear around what it is that they want. And I reckon it just starts with having that list. But you've got to look at it, right? What's the point in writing goals and stick it in the drawer? The value-based directions is something that we carry with us and we look at every day. Actually, it's part of the morning routine. So particularly great for you to incorporate that as part of your morning routine, just to take a look at that list. And then it sits in with you. And it's amazing how the universe, or your hard work, whichever planet you're living on, you know what I'm talking about? Both, totally, start to deliver when you do have these close to you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that. It's a great tool and I've used it. You and I have done work together over the last 12 months and it's been instrumental in helping me achieve so much in my business and life as well. So I encourage everyone to start putting that together. Look, the one complaint, I've received from business owners when I start working with them is that they don't have any more time to do anything else. And, becoming more productive in your business is a key to transforming not only your business, but also your life. So if there was only one thing, now I'm testing you here, one thing you could share with us about how to increase our productivity, what would that be?
Well, that's easy. that's absolutely easy, is don't do low-value tasks. So what do I mean by low value? Well, you know that values list that you're all going to write as soon as we finish this recording? I know you're all going to madly write your values list. Well, when you have that values list, they're the things that are really important to you. They're the things that really drive you. They're kind of your why, the real heart stuff, and the things that really matter in your life. Well, they're called high-value tasks. And then what we do on the search to having it all and to reaching this high achievement and fulfillment, one of the key productivity tools is to rework your time so that you are not doing the low-value tasks, but you're just doing the high-value tasks. Now, you might say, well, hold it a second. If low-value task is kind of like doing the cleaning and doing the ironing and, groceries, well, hold it. Don't they have to get done? Well, yes, they do. But then the whole key to having it all is to being able to have support around you, to be able to delegate, to be doing things smarter. It might be online shopping. There's a million ways to basically not do the low-value tasks yourself. And that's one of the key. Successful people do the high-value tasks and get help with the low-value tasks. So, yeah, that would be my number one productivity tip.
Excellent. I love it. And we can apply that to business very easily. You know, I see so many business owners that are doing their invoicing and that are following up, you know, putting appointments in their diary. They're low-value tasks, and you can easily get a virtual assistant or an assistant to manage that for you so that you work on building the business and bringing new business in.
Oh, absolutely, Clint. I'm right with you. And you have also highlighted some amazing tips on hiring VAs. And I know that's in a lot of your training. I'm very fortunate when I started the business practice that I have now as a speaker and a mentor and an author. I hired, one full-time amazing helper, support staff, with me. Then as time went on, we realized that then that particular support person needed help themselves. And so then it switches that then the high value tasks that she was doing, she had a certain amount of things that she needed then to delegate to that second key person. It means that me as the business owner just concentrates on things, as you said, like, looking and working on the business, a certain amount, yes, working in the business. But those low-value tasks, which not to say low-value tasks aren't important, but yes, invoicing, confirming appointments, doing certain areas of marketing, helping with the social media side, all of the things that the business needs that you can't do it all. You see, having it all is not doing it all. And that's one of the key ideas is that as soon as we realise that we are often doing too much and being able to say no to low value tasks. And, that can be a real mindset shift for a lot of people. People say, oh, that's easy said than done. And then often we do have to work on our mindset, which is a key point to having it all as well.
Exactly. I was just talking to a client before. I've had one session with her and she said the one thing I took away is that I'm trying to do everything and I need to let go of some things. So just that awareness and acknowledgement of, I am trying to do it all when I can be using my team, my support team around me to delegate. And so that letting go is a big one for a lot of business owners.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's because we work so hard and often we're tired as business owners because, we're pushing it hard and we're very ambitious. I tell you what, I love small business owners and business owners because, we put ourselves out there and we're supporting a lot of people. And, it's really, really important for us to realise that sometimes there are some key changes we have to make. If we keep on doing the same right now and we continue that this year for the rest of this year, we're going to really expect to get the same result at the end. And I think making some changes, even if it just be one little step at a time, it could be one thing you've heard in the last 30 minutes that you go, okay, yeah, I'm going to try that. And it's those little 1%ers that can make a big difference. And they say it takes 21 days to form a habit, so just setting yourself a target to just implement this one new idea, whether it be getting up early, whether it be saying no to low-value tasks, hiring some good support people, getting some good support people around you. It's just you're taking it easy on yourself, but knowing that little steps can make a big difference in the long run.
Exactly. Great advice there. Now, you talk in the book about saying to yourself, okay, you know what? It's time for me to work on my life. So how can we get started on turning around our life no matter how old we are?
Yeah. Look, I think one of the key things is understanding that sometimes there's the why and the what separate in our lives. And what that means is that there's certain things that we do every day, and that's the what, the routine thing, what we turn up to work to do, what needs to get done, and that's your what. But then there's the why, and often as business owners, we don't really take time to think about why we do what we do, what's really important, what's the bigger picture of why we're doing it. The thing that concerns me most about business owners is we often put our fulfillment on hold, and we work so hard, and I do believe it's possible to have that achievement fulfillment today in your business. And yes, it is a lot of a mindset check, but I think the first thing to do is to grab a piece of paper and to start writing down what's really important to you in your life. And there'll be things that clearly are not just going to be worky things. They're going to be other things. It could be around holidays. It could be around, the bigger picture of your wealth. It could be around special relationships and your best physical and mental health. And you write all of those things down. And then you really focus on that and understand that really, and for many of us, the fact of the matter is that we need commercial success and we need good business success for us to be able to have it all in other areas. I've seen a lot of really, smart people that know a lot of stuff, but then struggle with the fulfillment because the commercial, because the dollar side is missing. And I think it's important for us to not be struggling with the dollars. So the sooner that we can get our heart driving, and because let's face it, the why drives our productivity. If you're lacking a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of energy, writing down that values list is certainly the first step.
Yeah, I love it. Again, really awesome advice. Now, we've touched on this, but I want to finish by asking you what your 5 steps to success are.
Absolutely. Well, we haven't actually really shared the 5 steps to success. We shared 3 big ideas at the beginning, but you'll see in How to Have It All, it's broken up into 5 separate parts. And the foundation, or step 1, if you were looking at a ladder, you would put the word responsibility down as the bottom. And isn't that the foundation? That's when we really do say, if it's to be, it's up to me. And that's the first one. Step 2, as we climb that ladder of success, is finding clarity, and that will start when you look at that values list. Step 3 is choices, and that's not so much writing goals, but writing the value-based directions, and that's, there's a million choices to be made every day, but it's making choices aligned with your values. And step 4, climbing up the ladder, we're now at a really important one, and I reckon that this is a point where a lot of people fail again and again and again, and that's productivity. So I teach 10 productivity tools, including 2 I've shared today, which is staying out of drama and also not doing the low-value tasks, delegating those. And productivity is it. A lot of people will have good intentions and have a great plan, a great business plan, but they just don't know how to get it all done and keep sane at the end of it all.
Exactly.
So productivity is key. And the last one and the final one on the top of that ladder is purpose. And really when you work at steps 1 to 4, Clint, I will love to suggest to you that you will, with a bit of work, start to realise a very important sense of purpose that you may not have at the moment. But, as you work on the first 4 rungs of the ladder, you'll find that sense of purpose starts to appear, and that's a really good feeling as a business owner.
Yeah, exactly. And great because we can picture that ladder in our heads. And as people are listening to this, I suggest that everyone writes it down and draws the ladder and puts those words in.
Fantastic. It's a great idea because, like Carolyn Dweck, a psychologist, talks about the fixed and the growth mindset. And, you inviting me to speak here today. It's been, absolutely fun and great helping. And for your listeners, the fact that, you've got to the end of this here and are listening right the way through means that you rock. You've got a growth mindset. You're not just going to do the same thing again and again. You're willing to learn. Hey, but now it's about implementation, isn't it, Clint? You and I know it's talk's cheap. It's now
taking
what you
the
do.
action. Got to take the action.
I know that's what you're always teaching. I know. So it's absolutely about implementation and action now.
Exactly. Look, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, Christina. Where can our listeners get more information about you and obviously the book?
Yeah, fantastic. Well, just go to my website, www.ChristinaGuidotti.com, and I better spell my surname. So it's Christina, Christina, Guidotti, Guidotti.com, or contact my team, support@ChristinaGuidotti.com.au.
Yeah, perfect. And you've got a great team. I've dealt with them many times and the girls are lovely.
They are gorgeous.
Fantastic. Thank you again for your time. Great tips. I encourage everyone to grab the book because the book as well is just so practical. You've got space in there, you've got templates and guides that people can fill in and number, and there's so much in there that can really make a positive impact on your life and business. So go out and grab the book, everyone.
Thanks, Clint.
Speak to you soon. Thanks, Christina.
Good luck, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Success Assembly Podcast. For the show notes and to take your life and business to the next level, head to ClintSalter.com.